Welcome to the Barbell Strikes Back. I'm James McDermott, joined by Miguel Porter. Miguel, we have just a few days left of 2025. It's kind of crazy.
Yep. Yeah, it really is. Yeah, at class I mentioned that it was the last Sunday of the year, so yeah,
Yeah.
we're there.
That's it's always a fun thing to do. That last little chunk of CrossFit classes, like this is the last time we're going to do burpees this year. This is the last time, your last opportunity for this. I do remember I used to try to on Christmas Eve, like do one last like heavy snatch, just like this is the last snatch of the new year, But yeah, it kind of gets you into a mindset of like, all right, something is fading away, but there's new stuff coming up.
Yeah.
So that's kind of nice. So, well, let's chat a little bit about the old stuff. Last year we did like the Spotify Wrapped for the podcast. I'm not going to pull up the thing here on the screen, but I do have some things written down, and just stats for the podcast. We're up 5% on our followers.
Nice.
From this time to last time. So
yeah,
cool. So if you're one of those people, thank you. Click on the follow button. We reached 6 countries this time.
Oh wow,
that's a lot, and surprisingly, not Canada. Not on the list. This is kind of a funny thing about the Spotify Wrapped. They listed the top 5 countries that were listeners for the podcast, but we reached 6 of them, and I have no idea of what the 6th one is. So it's so we can only assume what it might be. But number 1 was the USA, of course. Number 2, Australia. Then we did Iceland this year, Norway, and South Africa.
Nice.
Which did we have South Africa on the list last year? Why does that sound familiar?
I honestly can't remember any of the stats from last year.
Yeah. I didn't look them up. I should compare year to year, or that'd be cool if they had a little thing that you can do that. So I don't know. What do you think that 6th country could be?
I don't know. Maybe it is Canada.
It could be. It could be Great Britain too. Where else?
Could be India.
Yeah, you were just there. Could be India. You have friends there.
Yeah.
I don't know how they ranked them. Obviously, it must be by listener count. So, of course, we would have
minutes listened.
USA is going to be number 1 because we would have the most listeners. And like you said, listeners listened. Huh. Yeah. I don't know. It's a mystery.
Yeah.
Our listeners had a very interesting variety of music that they listened to. I don't know. Some of these artists I don't know. I do know this one, Chris Stapleton. So listeners of the show like their Chris Stapleton. They like an artist called Stick Figure. Do you know who that is?
I don't.
Okay. I'm going to circle that one here on my paper. I'll check it out. At least whatever that's how I check out a band. You go to Spotify. What's the highest listened to song? That's where you start. 21 Pilots, Luke Combs, which he's country, right?
I think so. Yeah.
And so is Chris Stapleton. So a lot of country going on. Do you listen to country?
Not really.
Not really. And then we got Drake. So those are the artists that are podcast listeners. So in between podcast episodes, you throw on some Chris Stapleton, some Luke Combs, some Stick Figure. That's got to be like some industrial pop or something like that.
Maybe.
I don't know. Maybe I need to put some Stick Figure on the new ACBC playlist that we have to build.
We'll see.
I'm sending out the link tomorrow. We got to get started on it. We got to get started. And next week is kind of a perfect week where everyone maybe has some downtime. They can start adding songs. Although it does get harder every year on not picking the same songs or just like mixing it up. So it's tough. It does get tough. 12% of our listeners helped make us a 2025 binged show, where 12% of listeners listen to 2 or more episodes at a time.
Interesting.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot. Those are long episodes.
Yeah. If you're going through maybe a long drive.
Yeah. That's a large. This is all Schaff. Schaff is holding down our numbers here. He's got some Luke Combs and Drake and 21 Pilots on his playlist. It's very possible. It's very possible. We do know that Schaff is our one known listener, for sure.
Right.
He's out there. So Schaff, thank you for your contributions. So yeah, those are the stats. Not too bad.
Nice.
Yeah, it's cool to see a little wrap up there. I'm very, very interested on the countries one, and like, does that mean that we only were listened to in those 6 countries, or was there just like, all right, there's one guy out in Greenland or something like that, and we're not going to count that one, or something? I wonder how that works.
I mean, now I'm sure that they do it based off anything.
Yeah. Okay. I wonder if any of this is games related. Do you think possibly?
Maybe, yeah.
Just like coming to Albany, you find the podcast accidentally, just searching through Albany CrossFit stuff or something, and then you listen to an episode. I wonder. Well, I mean, if you're in one of these countries that is not the USA, because we know at least USA's Schaff. We got Schaff there. But if you're in one of these other countries, reach out to us in some way and say hello. That way we know who you are and where you're listening from, because I think that's kind of cool. I don't know anyone in Norway. Do you?
No.
Well, hey, this is how we make friends. The next thing you know, we're doing meets in Norway.
Right.
We'll sign up. So wrapping up the year, that's the podcast side of things. We did do a lot of benchmarks in Barbell Club, and we have one more coming up tomorrow. It'll be our last Barbell Club of the year. We have the Penlay total, as is tradition, a heavy back squat, heavy push press, heavy clean, within context of the total first, because I know sometimes people see those things and they're like, I don't know if I have a lifetime PR in me. Well, maybe you have a PR for the total in you, or you've never done the total. So, or just set a total. So we have that coming up tomorrow. We did the Shankle complexes, which the Shankle complexes they're going to be making appearances in the first month of programming in the new year as accessory. And I tried to think to myself, how could I make a jerk specific Shankle? And I think I've done it. You'll see. But that's also part. So it's like we have one for the snatch, we have one for the clean and jerk. But what if we're only going off the rack? I've got go here, I'll tell you. But behind the neck jerk, then bring it to the front. 3 jerk drives. So instead of the pulls, we can do 3 little dips, and then 1 front squat, and then 2 jerks from the front.
Interesting.
Yeah, it will be. And it'll be good accessory. So you'll build up to something heavy for the day, and then you'll have to do that complex for multiple sets with a percentage of what your heavy weight for the day was. So that way it's all based off of what are you doing today and what can you do today. So if all you can do today and all you got in you is 100 kilos on the first part, well, then you're going to use 60 kilos for the second part, and that's pretty light. These are quick complexes, but that way you can get a little bit of volume, a little bit of conditioning, a little bit of skills work in it too. Everything's going to be very customizable on what can you do today. And if you just hang out and sit there, you're not doing much that day. That's it. But there's no like quota on like, all right, well, I just got to get this done, and it's however long it takes. It's like, nope. It's what can you and what are you willing to do today? And then there's the backup accessory. So it's going to be interesting. It'll be interesting for sure. All right, so we have that coming up. And then we did the 12 days of Albany CrossFit epic workout. Not too bad this year.
Yep.
We used very, very light weights. I think these were very appropriate weights. What did you do? 65?
55?
55. Okay. And last year we speculated that you used 80 pounds.
Yeah, that was what was in Modify 80.
Oh, it was. Okay.
Mhm.
What did you and you blew through it. You were done in what, 22 minutes?
Yes.
Yeah. I think Rebecca was done around 25. She was the second person done. So about 22-ish minutes, which is flying. Last year, what did you finish in? Do you remember?
Not completely sure. I could probably bring it in quick, but I think I was the first done last year with like 40 something.
All right, in the 40s. So shaving off close to 20 minutes, and we're bumping the weight down quite a bit. Do you think it was just all about the weight for you, or are you somehow more conditioned this year than last year? What do you think the difference was?
It was 100% the weight, I would say. Forcing us to do lighter definitely helped.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was 100% just the weight.
Got it.
Just those strict presses, I think, was probably, I couldn't even imagine myself doing 80 with the strict presses. So that was probably a big chunk of it.
I do remember during the workout that Rebecca said at some point that was the hardest part, or she couldn't believe how hard it got with those strict presses. But it's like, if you look at the workout, like that's the only place you can really put them, unless you want to do more cleans or something else, for lower reps.
Yeah. Yeah, because I can only assume that I must have fully changed the way I broke everything up based on the strict press. Because I mean, I kind of had to do that this time around too, where like if I wasn't completely set from the push presses into the front squats, I was going to have to drop because I knew that I wouldn't be able to do the strict presses. And that's just 55. Like adding another 25 pounds would have been really difficult.
Yeah. It's it adds up for sure. And I was on a mission, and I'm like, all right, I'm just going to tell everybody what you're going to do. And because it was good. I mean, I wish Jennifer could have done it with us, because that's a hard workout to do solo, and Jennifer did it earlier in the day. But knowing that Jennifer did 55, I was like, I know what the whole rest of the room probably needs now, because I do know as well, Jennifer has a good engine and is willing to push and will hold on to the bar longer than most before, all right, I have to drop it. So knowing that she did 55, I was like, all right, just gauging where everyone's at, this is what you should do, and it's interesting too, on like, like where some people's weights are like somewhat close to one another when we're doing the Olympic lifts, or all right, that's the equivalent percentage, just using Jennifer as like the benchmark for everything. I was like, all right, that's what you should do. Or we have like a person who's coming back, Lucas, to Barbell Club, and at first he was skeptical. 35 pounds. I'm like, trust me, this is like you've been fighting through the regular workouts we've been doing, and this is a whole nother animal. And it's just letting people understanding this is not like anything else that even on the CrossFit side we're doing. This workout would destroy the CrossFit people. The regular one does. But even on the CrossFit side, I think people you'd have to have the whole class doing 35 pounds. And then everyone would be like, why am I going so light? And they wouldn't understand it until they get to the hang power cleans.
No, I think honestly by the push press, you understand.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the hang power cleans is like halfway or something, which that's that's a tough pill to swallow in the workout, that when you get to 10, 11, and 12, you're maybe about halfway.
Yeah.
Workouts like that always, like, there's other workouts. Well, anytime we do like 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, it's like you're not even halfway until you get to a certain point. But people think once the big numbers are gone, oh, I'm good.
Yeah.
It's like, nope, you still have a lot of work to do. Well, did you employ any different types of strategies this time, like on how you broke it up? Like, all right, I'm going to do all the squats and presses together. I'm going to try to go from Penlay row to hang power clean, or were you just kind of going?
I think you just have to kind of go, because each round is different. Since you start at a different place, you kind of have to build things together based off of that. Because there are points where, okay, maybe I break after the strict press if I'm starting at like the back squats. But then the next round, after, it might make more sense to break after the front squats and then just pick it up again and start fresh with the strict press. Yeah, it really just depends on what you had before and then what you broke from there. So yeah, I kind of maybe had an idea, like how we warmed it up, and we kind of did like the little sections. That was in mind, but you kind of have to go with how you feel in the moment.
Yeah, and don't take off a bigger chunk than you can chew.
Exactly.
Well, did you do any of okay, I'm gonna do 9 hang power cleans, put it down, and that'll just cost me an extra deadlift, but then I'll do the last hang power clean and start the push jerks? Did you do any kind of those, like, most of the reps and then one in the tank to start the next thing?
No, actually, I don't think on any of that I did that. Yeah, I just really wanted to finish the full exercises, and then if I felt like I needed a break, I would just take that full break, and then just start again. But yeah, like the hang movements, I think I did all of those unbroken the entire time, just to like get the movement out the way. Yeah.
Because there's really no place to hide. At least on another 12 days workout, you get to walk away from the pull-up bar and go to the kettlebell or go to the bike or whatever it is. Go on a run. Imagine that, how nice that must be in a 12 days workout, just going on a run, just escaping everything. But this is very mentally taxing 12 days workout where you're just stuck there looking at the bar. And there is the risk of doing a lot of extra cleans or deadlifts or things to bring it back up. But I think that's also where it's like you have to factor that in with how you scale the weight. Like, it should be light enough that, like, okay, when that happens, it's not going to ruin everything. But now imagine if it's like 95 pounds, like for some last year, or 80 pounds, or 135 pounds. You're going to do it RX. That starts to add up a lot and just really start to become but for you, just muscle cleaning 55 pounds up to your shoulders to start the push jerks or push presses or something, probably not a big deal, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's just kind of the start of the rep. Well, it was good. I think most everybody finished it. We did cut it off at 30 minutes, which I think was also just necessary. Everybody, I think one person finished just over, which is okay. A minute or two over expected, especially if you're like right there. Let's finish it. And then Jennifer went over a little bit, so there's already a little bit of a precedent set. So it's like, if you're going to finish the round, cool. But if you got a whole nother round, I think stick a fork in you, put you out of your misery. I think that's pretty good, because no one wants to be that last person finishing a 7-minute round with everyone else just watching. So, yeah, it was good. And I think now, actually, I think maybe for some next year, there could be room to add a little more weight if they wanted, or just try to improve the time. But I think it's funny, like some people last year did 95 pounds and then did 65 pounds. So we have a 35 pound or 30 pound spread. And you have to wonder, what would 75 pounds be? be like. And I think that just comes down to not even how the whole rest of the year went, because it's just a different time,
Yeah.
in late December. So it's like, it should just be a fun workout. Like, it doesn't ever need to be a thing where you're like revving up for it and like, I need to do
Right.
X weight. I see how you could do that for other 12 days workouts. Like, all right, I'm going to finally do an RX. But this is almost one where it's like, I don't know if you ever need to,
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a
Agreed.
goal anyone wants.
It was the weight that I chose was very much like how I'm feeling now. Especially after like we've talked about it, and it's like, hey, this workout shouldn't be taking us an hour. And then once I had that in my mind, I think did I run before? I think I ran a little bit before as well.
Yeah, I think you did.
And just like overall how the body feels, like, yeah, it made more sense to just like do the workout. Don't just get stuck for no reason.
Yeah. The the egos melted away this year. Not that you had one, but just like last year, I think I did make some recommendations. I just wasn't as firm with it. And then I was like, well, maybe you can do this,
Mm-hmm.
But I think the only person who could, well, the only person who has a shot to do it RX is Frank, because he can strict press 100 kilos, 110 kilos, So if Frank is in, a CrossFitty endurance type shape, I think he could definitely finish that. Would it be less than 30 minutes? I don't know. Because I think that's again where like that, just the volume of the workout and that CrossFit feeling starts to add up. But I think comparable to what you guys did year one, I think he definitely could,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because like you look at like the snatch at the end, 135, 60 kilos. Well, he can snatch double that, so it's like, I think he's got the only shot on the men's side. On the women's side, 95 pounds. I don't think we have a female athlete that could do it. What do you think?
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's tough. I don't know if I could do 95 pounds, honestly,
Yeah.
under like 50 minutes. I don't think so.
Yeah. I think Schaff was 47 minutes or something last year.
Yeah.
And then Chris was like 52, and they both used 95 pounds. So yeah, that's a tough 135, 95, maybe the RX should have been 95, 65,
Yeah.
but the reason I made it that is because, all right, if I was making it for the CrossFit class, I probably would have done 95, 65. I think I did go back and forth, but since this is barbell club, it had to be heavy. It had to be heavy. Well, we don't got to see it again until next year. That's definitely not one that we will randomly revisit on a Monday in July. Although I do like some of the complexes that have come from it. I had a lot of those prep complexes, especially last year, of just like practicing a chunk of it to work on the transitions, and they were odd complexes, like the one where it was it's a 3 cleans, 2 jerks, and then 1 snatch. It's like such an odd thing to have this 1 snatch at the end, but I do think we might actually like revisit at least like that one for accessory later on in the year, where again, if we do something heavy, and I am kind of splitting snatch and clean on different days, well, if we did like that on a day that we're not snatching, well, now you're still also kind of sneaking in a little bit of snatch work. So I've been kind of thinking about that too on unorthodox complexes. Because every time you ever see a complex, it's always perfect, right? It's always in the correct sequence. Like it's going to be deadlifts first, then hang. And I think that there is a value to, I guess I'll just call them, because I don't have another name for them, unorthodox complexes, weird complexes.
Yeah.
You don't see them often, but I think it challenges you in a different way, where like I'm in clean and jerk mode. Now I have to snatch. Well, yeah, this is going to be an uncomfortable snatch. And are your skills sharp enough to be able to do this? What do you think about that on doing things almost backwards.
Yeah, I mean, it could be interesting.
Just for a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I think we'd have to decide what we want to get out of it so that we're not just doing things.
Yes, yeah.
I speak for me specifically because I'll just snatch with a closer grip.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. We don't want that. There need to be
Yeah.
rules, and obviously there's still things that like you don't need to do, like 3 jerks and then 1 front squat or something like that. Like this is like where the numbers don't make sense, or like you're just, why are we doing just 1 front squat after this? Where it'd be maybe even better to do jerk front squat or something like that. So yeah, like it would definitely need to be planned out. But I do, when we did it in class, it just seemed like, even though the weight was lighter, the emphasis or the magnitude of this like light snatch was more than if, like, let's say we're just doing just a snatch with it.
Yeah.
Because you're tired from doing 3 cleans, your shoulders are a little tired from doing 2 jerks. You just did 5 reps, so you are tired. And also they're completely different, than what you have to do now. You're like more spread out in this start position, and it's uncomfortable. So it's like, I guess it's like, how do you make the snatches uncomfortable? It's like add in clean and jerks before them. Another thing we haven't done in a very long time is like cleans or clean and jerks first in the day, then snatches. We haven't done that in a very, very long time. I don't think we will. But there's the reason we always used to do that is just because of everyone feeling not their best by the time we got to clean and jerk. So just doing that first to feel fresh while we do it. Well, awesome. A lot of good things happening there. With going into the new year now, what are some things that you're maybe grateful for or are taking away from 2025? And if you're taking them away, are you taking them into 2026? Or is it just like, all right, great lesson learned, now I'm on to new things?
Yeah. How do you want to? I wrote them down.
Yeah, I wrote mine down too. How many do you have?
I did 3.
Me too. So we can kind of go back and forth.
Cool.
All right, you want to start?
Yeah. The first one, we've kind of talked about it as the year went on, but like, I felt like self-assessment really worked. So as we come around this time, especially, we do like our goals for the year, of course, and we look at it through like a year kind of lens. But I've said it before, but like quarterly goals, or just like taking the time to look at what you're doing and what you want to do. Like just seeing how things feel and then continuing off of that. So yeah, like you might set a goal right now for 2026, and then as it goes on, you realize that that goal doesn't work for you, or like that you don't enjoy it. And yeah, just working off that. So asking yourself what you want and how you get there periodically throughout the year, and adjusting based off that. That was something that I think worked really, really well for me.
Would you say if you set a goal and you find out 2 months into the year that it's not really what you want anymore, but did you still accomplish it though? Because like you took it to its fullest potential, kind of, I guess like an example would be like, I know you do dance. So let's just say someone is like, I want to, in the new year, take dance classes and get more into dance. And then they do it for 3 months. And then like, you know what? I don't enjoy it. I thought I would, but like you saw out to its fullest potential. So is that still a goal achieved?
Yeah. I mean, you can put like numbers to goals and things, and maybe you want to do it for the year or something. But yeah, if it's not for you, then I would say pass on it. But that's a way to look at it. Um, if your goal was to do something and you do it, regardless of if you continue with it the entire year, I mean, it's still done.
Yeah. And it's still added value, right?
Yeah.
And kind of like maybe took you to the next thing. You're like, I don't like dance, but I saw there's I don't know, another thing across the road, and now
Yeah.
I'm onto
Yeah.
that thing. Cool. So you're gonna carry that assessment into the new year. This is a
Yeah.
concrete thing now. It's an important thing. Um, I would say my first one is just it's something that you know and that you say, but you have to like practice it to like fully get the whole takeaway. And mine would just be consistency is king. Like I had
Hmm.
two goals that required 100% consistency in order to be able to do with my walking 7K steps a day and doing the core 365. And at this point, I've walked over 800 miles at this point in the year, based off of the number of steps that I've done, my height and
Yeah.
my stride length. And that's what ChatGPT told me when I put all that in there. So, all right, I have no other way to figure it out, but it's saying 800 miles. I think we are over halfway to Mordor, because remember the whole goal was just to do the walk that the hobbits had to do. So I'm actually closer than I thought. I think it's 1350, and now I'm at
Hmm.
800. So I'm not that far, like far away. And then the other goal was the core 365, and just to kind of put a number on that, it's about if the workouts take anywhere from 4 minutes to 10 minutes or so, going on the low end at just 4 minutes, it's about or probably over 24 hours worth of spending time working on those things. And my hips feel great. My arch position, the Superman, is like always locked in, and I feel it locked in from like head to toe, like not just like, oh, I'm squeezing my butt, or like I'm trying to squeeze my back. It's like it feels like a solid position now, enough so that like when I'm in it, if I'm not like lengthening my knees, it feels weird. Like how people get
Hmm.
in the Superman and their knees are like bent and curled up.
Yep.
It's like, well, that's like you're broken. So I feel like one solid piece, and the same thing with the hollow. And when I have to do things like regular sit-ups or something like that, they feel totally easy. And along the way with trying to be consistent, I've done things that like I never had a reason to try to do 100 sit-ups for time or something like that. And
Yeah.
now I have, and now I also know I can. So like knowing that you can do all these things helps. So it's true. Like we know it's true, but it's like until you like, I've never done anything like this before outside of reading the Bible every day. I'm like, I'm gonna do these things no matter what, every single day. 4 a.m.
Yeah.
Crap, I got to do these sit-ups. 11:30 p.m. Crap, I got to do these sit-ups, and I got to walk these steps, and also making it like, no, it has to happen, and
Yep.
yeah, it works, and I'm gonna keep it going into the new year. There's no reason to
Hmm.
stop.
Nice.
It may take a different flavor.
Um, my
Oh,
next one. Yeah, my next one is that goals can compound. So
hmm.
I think we kind of talked about it a bit last podcast as well with the level 2 on just how everything kind of worked together this year. Um,
Mhm.
like I've been coaching more, and um, how that works with like my public speaking. And then I did weddings where I had to publicly speak in front of a lot of people, and how that part then helped me to perform at the level 2 as well. Um, and just how everything comes together. I kind of described it as when I was in college, I had multiple semesters where my classes kind of helped me research for each other. Where like I was doing research for psychology, also doing my writing class, and um, all of these different things, and I could kind of use the themes from each one to kind of build on top of the other. And it was similar with goals this year, and just what you've been doing and how those things can lend themselves together and kind of compound, and you can kind of use momentum from one into the next thing. Um, so that was something that I definitely took away this year, is that um, you can use a lot of the skills that you build from one specific thing into the next thing. So not just the example that I gave, but just in general, that whatever habits you pick up can carry out through so many different things in your life. So that was a big one for me.
Yeah, and that's important. Everything should kind of, I mean, not forcibly, but it should kind of feed into one another. If you're doing, one thing that makes you a better public speaker, but you have to public speak in other different avenues, like, of course, use those skills,
Yeah.
or it's kind of like, all right, you get really good at like kilo math and you can do all this stuff in your head, and that just somehow helps you somewhere else, and you're in a room and no one else knows what these numbers mean, but you do, you know.
Yep.
Or kind of like, are you still doing your language studies first thing in the
Oh
morning?
no.
Oh, the streak is broken.
No, I mean, remember I dropped it like in the summer.
Oh, okay. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Well, just you're just bored with it, just done with it.
Yeah, they started to they well, it's a whole thing. Duolingo like fired a bunch of people, and then AI does most of their stuff. So
Ooh,
the lessons just became very repetitive and also like not as good. So like I was getting on and doing it, but like they weren't building or anything. It was just you could see the quality just decreased a lot. So it kind of like
okay.
lost its luster.
That's a shame.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. On so for so many reasons.
Hmm.
I guess they're saving money somehow, but yeah, that nah. Well, that's unfortunate. But hey,
Yeah.
it's not like you didn't learn anything, like
Right.
you can, if someone's speaking Spanish to you, you can. Are you gonna eventually pick back up with something else, or just taking a break from it now?
Yeah, I don't know. Um, I don't know. There's so many other things at the
Mhm.
moment. It's not like at the forefront of anything. I think I'm still at the same ish level. Um,
Okay.
but yeah, we'll see.
Well, at least you have a foundation you can circle back to. It's
Right.
like not going to be completely foreign thing. And like you said, with things compounding, or just even like allowing different parts of your life to blur together to make like things overall more enjoyable. You look forward to things like I really enjoy like monsters and cryptids and like Bigfoot, Loch Ness, all those things. And I'm starting another Bible study on January 1st, and it's one of those Bible in a year things, because I'm reading the King James version right now. That's my daily
Yeah.
reading. But it is difficult to get through just because of the language and everything. So I'm doing this other thing to kind of supplement it on like where I'm not going to be reading the King James. I'll read another, maybe like just easier to read version of it. But the subject matter of this thing in a year is it's called Stranger Theology, where they just have you read all of the like parts about like the giants, the creatures, the mystical
Mm.
things, this like so things that like aren't just like straightforward, so I'm
Right.
like, yeah, all right, so this is a way I can kind of blur those two worlds and have
Mm.
everything kind of be a little more fun and enjoyable, like I'm reading the King James, but like I can like it's not always enjoyable because you're just like I just read that whole chapter and like I didn't understand anything, you know.
Right.
So it would just be nice to be like, all right, let me read that and then let's do this, and now it's all for fun. And of course I want to read about giants and the Leviathan and all that stuff, you know, like
Right.
so I think it'll be a nice companion piece, but they're kind of like a merging of two worlds. Things are compounding now.
Nice.
I guess my next one is rest is important. Rest is important, you know, and that's I mean, I learned that the hard way during the games and states, but really during the games where I slept 9 hours across that whole week. And it's like that's really not good, you know. It does make me wonder though, like if I could do like, you know, like maybe in another life, like you know how like where they have to go through like SEAL training and stuff and they sleep deprive you, and like, I'd be like, yeah, I'm fine with this part. Like this part's fine. Like I don't enjoy being in the cold water or other things and whatnot, but like, oh, you guys are tired or whatnot. We have to do the next task. See, that's the thing about it. Like that's why like I'm able to do that because like, oh, we have to do another mission. We have to print those papers. We have to get this going. We have to do that. We have to do that. Like my brain just gets so occupied with it. It's like, no, we're up now, you know? So like, I wonder if like in that situation, it could be like, yeah, we have to go up that hill next. And well, that's the next thing we have to check. And it's like, you know, so I wonder if I would be able to do just that part. Everything else, probably not, but just that part. Am I going to find out? No. And I don't want to, you know, because it is very bad for your health. That's probably the most unhealthiest thing. Like I could like, do you have in your head on like what the most unhealthiest thing that you did all year was? Like it might've been a meal. It might've been, you know, a couple drinks or something. Mine was for sure the CrossFit Games week on the sleep part because I'm still doing my steps, still doing my sit-ups, still working out. That was not good. So no, rest is important.
Yeah, I would agree with that one for sure. That probably is also my most unhealthy thing of the year is definitely the resting.
Really?
Like with all these like events that happened, it's like, and they fall in the same weeks like that games week as well. Like I also barely slept because I had work and then I was trying to get in the gym when I could and then helping with getting the wedding together and then being at the wedding and then coming in the next day. And after a lot of the weddings this year, I could literally feel my body like finally not like crumbling, but almost where it's like you're holding out because you have this thing going on and because you have to get through it and like help out and do all these things. It's like you're just holding on. In the second that it's over, like your body is like, okay, we need to get back somehow.
Yeah.
So I was like, a lot of those weddings, like the day after, I would like sleep the entire day. And then like I would get like sick after these weddings too, because like my body was just using so much like reserve power. So yeah.
I always get so mad at myself when I'm in a situation where the next day I'll sleep the majority of the day because now it's like because it's more than likely going to be a free day or like that was going to be your day and you just burned it now. And now you have to wait like another week for the next weekend to get like a day where you want to do stuff for you. And it just always really bugs me. And then I'll end up staying up late on a day that I slept in most of the day because, well, I want to be up doing stuff too. I wanted to watch that movie or whatever it was. So rest is important. And I'm working on other ways to kind of hopefully help things. Well, one, I want to get back to reading at night. I got a whole Dracula over there that still needs to be read. I will finish this book. That's just one of those things where it's like it's not done yet. It just didn't get done this year, unless I cram it in the next couple days. And then I bought like I like to have something in the evening, like a snack or something. But I'm like I need to healthy it up, a little bit. And I bought a carnivore protein shake mix, but it's like a hot chocolate too. So it's like a
Yeah.
clean hot chocolate, like one of those ones. So I'm gonna have that, like just have that in the evening, sip it. And my plan is to, instead of having like a TV show or something on, just kind of have like either nothing or ambient music going.
Hmm.
Good example would be there's a game, Skyrim, famous game, and they have just the music of like when you're walking around the map. It's just this like calm, peaceful music. So I
Hmm.
want to try to create a calm, peaceful environment after a certain time period in the evening, and that's it. Like and I think coupling that with not having social media on the phone during the week and stuff like that, I think that'll all definitely help, because now it's like we
Yeah.
put the book down, we go to bed. So I'm this will be the first year I'm going to try to enact a plan to do this better.
Right.
Are you going to do anything to try to help with your unhealthiest thing?
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to be forced to do it. Um, I mean, when we talk about goals, it'll come up, but just in how much I want to do, things are obviously going to have to change in order to just have that many hours in the day, um,
Hmm.
and to not break apart. So yeah, yeah, definitely will
Okay.
be needed.
Yeah, because you're going to be adding more to your plate soon.
Yep.
Very cool. What's your third thing?
Um, yeah. So my third thing definitely is like a 2025 takeaway, but something that I'm still working on, um, and hope to get better at in 2026. Overall, it's just being open and taking things as they come. So, opportunities, like instead of waiting for the right time, just doing them. Or, we kind of like block off certain things and we think that a later time will be best.
Hmm.
And if the opportunity presents itself, like at least in my mind, what I think I need to lean into more was just if if the opportunity is now, you might as well do it now instead of waiting for what you think might be the most opportune time. Like we've talked about it with just maxing out. Like if you're feeling great that day, let's not save it because next week is our max out. Like if it's feeling good
Yeah.
and you have the opportunity to do it, if it's the right time at that time, then do it instead of like, okay, I'm waiting until I peak perfectly for this meet and then I'll try that weight.
Yeah.
So that's an example of that. And yeah, something I just need to be better with in other pieces of life as well. Of, stop waiting for the right time and just go for whatever.
Is that also along the lines of like, all right, you're home, you get a text from your friends, hey Miguel, come do this with us, and you were like already like, nah, I was gonna stay home. Is it kind of like seizing that opportunity? You know what? Miguel normally would stay home, but now he's just gonna go out and check that out.
Right. Yeah. So similar to that. I mean, I do it in certain pieces. Like, I mean, me going to India was literally just, I got a text message one day that was like, what are you doing on these dates? And immediately it was like, I'm in. Didn't know what it
Hmm.
was. So, but yeah, it's something great that I wouldn't have, like, that'll never really come up again in that way. So I'm glad that I was able to take that opportunity and just go along with it. I think similar with the level two, where, life has been busy, but when we saw like, okay, we can get it done before the end of the year, I'm glad that we were able to jump on that and get it done.
And I can definitely, I guess, sympathize, empathize, one of the I's on like,
Yeah.
all right, hey guys, like I got the approval. You can do your level two. Let's look at dates. All right, look at this date. Like when you're in like September or October and it's in December you're just kind of like everything's like so foggy, and it's the end of the year, and you're like, I don't want to do anything, right? Like it's kind of
Yep.
like when it gets dark outside, you're like, yeah, I don't want to go outside now because it's dark out. Well, it's like, all right, well, it's dark 3 months from now. In my mind's vision, and I can't see myself going. And also, I may be projecting how I feel right now on that. And like right
Yeah,
now, I'm so
exactly.
tired. I'm hungry. I'm thirsty. I didn't sleep good. And I can't like perceive leaving the house at that time on that day to go do that versus on
Right.
right. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that's exactly it. I try to tell friends that too. Like, if we're trying to make plans for the future, like, you can't take how you feel right now as a
Yeah.
part of it. I think on both ends. Like, if you're super excited right now, like people always do that. Like, you go out on a night out and you meet someone, and then like you're like, oh, now we're best friends. We should do this thing and this thing and this thing. And everyone's like, yeah. And then real life hits and you're like, oh, I don't want to do that. But on the other end, like, you might have had a terrible day at work and someone's like, 2 weeks from now, you want to do this thing? And you're like, absolutely not. That is the worst idea I've ever heard in my life. But
Yeah.
yeah, sometimes it's just feeling at the moment.
It's kind of like how there's like an event going on or something, and you're like, hey, you're just like almost like waiting, and like your phone goes off, and like, I wonder if they're canceling. I
Yeah.
wonder if, oh no, we can't go. You know, I feel that way right now because next year I'm trying to get into going to more concerts again. I used to go to
Hmm.
concerts all the time when I was much younger in college. One year I went to 7 concerts, and it's like I look back at that and I'm like, how in the world did we do? How in the world did we afford that? Because I know we didn't have money. You know,
Yeah.
we were barely having gas to go to school, let alone having the time and all that stuff. And there wasn't a GPS. We had MapQuest paperwork,
Yeah.
and we drove all over New York and parts of Pennsylvania, New Jersey, going to 7 concerts, seeing all the bands that we loved. And I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
I kind of got away from that. And it's like this big musical part of my life kind of got like, I guess, overtaken with CrossFit. Like it's like,
Mm.
all right, I need to like not do this anymore because I need to focus on this. And then now it's kind of funny. It's like, all right, James now has the ability to afford to go to this show to see his
Yeah.
favorite band. But I'm still like in the mindset a little bit of back then. I'm like, oh, they want that much for a ticket. How much do I
Right.
really like them? I can just listen to the music here.
Yeah.
And then like I've booked 2 shows now, one in February, one in April. And I'm just like almost like dreading now. I'm like, I'm gonna have to drive out there, and then I'm gonna do the show, and then I'm to drive back, and then I'm like weighing. I'm like, okay, the drive out is always an enjoyable part, but then like the show is X time, and then I still got to drive back and get home late, and then go to bed, and like so it's like I'm like doing this like I guess like old person thing. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
it's gonna
Yeah.
end too late, and like does that, I don't know if this makes sense the way I'm describing it. I'm like weighing the length of the time versus the difficulty of getting to my car after the show and leaving the parking
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah.
Like,
No, I
and,
get
and
that.
do you do that?
But
And then
I will say, as like a, because of, I've also done so many concerts this past year, it's happened that the drive back has been almost easier because you have such a good experience at the concert.
yeah,
Like, sometimes you are like, hopefully I can get it. Like, I think I've lucked out also a lot of times, like leaving a lot of these concert venues. But yeah, like, you have an enjoyable show and you're still like kind of riding that high, but you do have to allow yourself to enjoy it first, because you can
yeah,
sit in that concert and before the last song you're like, should I leave early just to beat the crowd? And I've thought about that at a couple concerts where I'm like, all right, I think we're like 2 songs left. I could start walking over to like the exits and just hear them from there. Or like, yeah, they're gonna do an encore, but people are already getting to their cars now. Like, should I leave? And every
yeah.
time I've stayed, and I'm glad that I stayed in the exact spot that I was.
Yeah, I've never been one to do that. I mean, one, I paid for the show. I want to see the whole
Yeah, right.
show. I and if they come out for an hour encore, yeah, all right, let's do this. And I would never be able to forgive myself if I left early and they did an encore and played something like very rare. Because
Right.
every now and then you'll get that where it's like, oh, that's a song they've never played before and they never will again. Or like it's the song you wish they would have played, but it just wasn't
Yeah.
in the main set list.
Hmm.
So like I would never be able to risk it. I would have to just be right there. So
Yeah.
but yeah, it's totally a thing, and I think people do that all the time. It's kind of like right now, a lot of people are probably thinking about starting CrossFit, right? And they're like, but all right, I got to drive over there after work. Like you can just start adding to the list of inconveniences. Yet when you
Right.
actually do the thing, it's going to be so awesome that it just none of those little inconveniences matter at all. You know, it's just a thing that we do as people, right?
Yeah.
So they just gotta do it. So I think was that you, right? Was
Yeah.
that yours? Um, my last one is you can find time. You can
Hmm.
find time, and I guess in good ways and bad ways. Like I've had a lot of busy days where I'm gonna have to drive a lot and then do something like work at a meet all day and then drive back, and like I really only have the end zones of the day to accomplish my goal of doing this 4-minute workout. And so it's literally like you better get up and go on that floor right now and
Yep.
just do it. I know for Joe Rod's meet, the Hudson Valley regional, I was down in my parking lot. I did a set of side bends next to my car. And then when I got there, I went into the bathroom to change in my suit and I did my last set of side bends in the bathroom.
Hmm.
It's like I'm like, all right, that's just how I'm gonna get it done that day. But I had to figure out when I'm gonna have time to do this. And I
Right.
have a million side bends to do today. So I got up, I did a big bulk of them, and then I'm completely okay that they're not connected or separated by a couple hours. It's like, no, this is just what it needs to be today because the alternative is doing nothing. The
Yeah.
alternative is missing this day. So I would rather just be like down there like a crazy person at 5 a.m. Next to my car doing a set of side bends and then getting in. And it's like, I don't care if anyone sees me. I'm working out. I'm
Yeah.
accomplishing my goal. And plus no one else is awake. So it's like you can find time, but then there's good ways and bad ways because also the bad way is you find time and that's by sacrificing something else like sleep. So it has
Hmm.
to kind of be if you're gonna find time for the things that are most important, like something for your health and fitness important. I don't know, that email that can wait for tomorrow morning, not important. You don't
Right.
need to do that. You should go to bed, at that point. So that's just that the big takeaway is like you can find time, and I haven't done anything like that in a long, long time. I'm just like having to be strategic on like, all right, it's like a chess match today. How am I gonna get my goal in?
Yeah.
And then you make it work. Do you have any situations like that, or your
Yeah.
goals
I
weren't
think
really tied?
last night I was out with a couple friends and we were kind of doing a similar conversation, and the topic of going to sleep at a decent hour came up, and we kind of broke apart someone's day. And of course, as you always say, like, well, there's no time for that. But we kind of joked because they like almost had a block of TikTok where they were like, okay, I come home. And I mean, most of the day is very productive. Like, as we were breaking apart this person's day, where it's like, come home after work, they practice piano for this amount of time, then they cook, shower, all these things. And then they were like, and then I'm on TikTok, probably from like this hour to this time. And it's another thing that we talked about where you kind of have to weigh your options of like, yes, this is healthier, but this is also enjoyment. And also like, can I get through my day without this like moment of ease? But yeah, you can find time for anything. Like if you really broke apart your day, and you can find 10 minutes here or there, or 5 minutes, or doing this while you're doing this, or, you know. So yeah, that's similar, where you can always find it in some place without even like expanding your day of like, I have to wake up earlier and do this. Like, what can you do in the time that you already have, and really maximize that time before you like try to expand anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. There actually, it's a regular practice now of, as the food is cooking for dinner, I'm doing my hollow rocks. And like, it's like, all right, I'm not gonna like have dinner, cook, and sit down and watch a TV show or something. That, but like it's cooking for 10 minutes, whatever it is. All right, I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna try to get this done at the same time. So like I'm checking off two things. Or if I don't have to do that and I still need steps, I'll just walk around the apartment for that time. All right, I have 10 minutes of stepping to do now,
Yeah.
and get like another 1K. So yeah, it's funny how you can fit things in. And it's also funny how like the enjoyment thing, it's like there's almost too much enjoyment now, you know? Like it's like I was thinking about like old, like timey in school, like convenience stores and candy shops, right? And you'd have like a little thing of candy, and it's like it cost a penny, you know, and you got this little square, and you ate that, and that was like that was it. That was it. You'll have one 3 weeks from now. Like it was literally like a treat. And like now it's like you could buy a bag of those, a bulk bag of those, and sit on your couch and just eat them, eat them all every day if you wanted to. And it's like it's kind of funny. It's like it must be. I mean, I'm sure other generations had this problem, but it's like I wonder if it's like an R mixed generation, like yours and mine, and something, this modern day thing. It's like, well, all right, they're coming after us. Like they're trying. Like it's like if there's an opposing team, you know, like they are trying to kill you. They literally are. They're trying to kill you. But also it's like, all right, your mom and dad didn't let you have this when you wanted it, but now you've got the freedom to do it whenever you want, and you just have it all the time, type of deal. And then you don't realize that your parents were right until you have some kind of an issue. Like, oh, I got diabetes. I have an issue. You know, that's why they said I should eat, or my teeth are falling out. That's why they said I should eat this all the time.
Right.
So yeah, it's an interesting thing, and it's like everything is set up just to keep you locked into it. But,
yeah.
All right. Well, that's our takeaways. Just quick recap here. I said consistency is king, rest is important, and you can find time. And what your three were?
Self-assessment, compounding goals, and just being open.
Open to opportunities or life. Cool.
Yeah.
Now, with the goals, you know, we did have kind of some carryover there, bleed over. Are your goals for 2026 tied to those, or do you have like completely different goals? Or maybe these are like those are like almost like philosophies, right? You know,
Right.
Those takeaways. Are your goals more specific for 2026?
Yeah. So I guess the ones that I wrote that we have up in the gym, I also got more people to fill out those cards today.
Good. I don't understand why people don't or didn't want to.
Yeah, I'm yelling at people, so it's good.
Yeah.
We're getting more.
All right, good.
I'll just run through the ones that I wrote. So the first one was completing the triathlon sprint. My second goal is to increase my weightlifting total. I figured that I should put a number to this, make it more measurable. So I said 5 kilos. Add that to my weightlifting total this year.
Cool.
And then my last one is getting a sub 25-minute 5K.
Ooh. Okay. Those are good goals, all performance based. And also, but I guess that's good, because if you carry over those things that you were talking about, all those three things are definitely going to help these three things, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
With the kilo goal, So how you planning to balance all this? Because you're going to add 5 kilos, but also you have these endurance goals. How are you going to balance
Right.
this without one
Yeah.
taking away from the other? And one
That's the
can
thing
definitely take away from the other.
for sure. I I don't think I've maxed out my strength in weightlifting. Um, I think that there are
No.
still things that I haven't tapped into that will make me a better overall athlete. Um, and the idea is that training for something bigger and longer, like a triathlon, will force me to tighten up some of those areas. So, like we talked about sleep and like nutrition as well. Um, doing all of these different things, I will 100% be forced. Like my body will feel it a lot quicker,
Mhm.
spread across these things if I don't take them more seriously. So all of these goals kind of have like other tiers beneath them of like, in order to do this, you will need to do this.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I don't think that I think 5 kilos added to my weightlifting total. I don't think I really need to change much. I mean, I think it's really just if I make a couple of those lifts that I missed at states, that I get that.
Yeah.
Um,
I
and
wouldn't
if
be
I just,
surprised if on the route to 5 kilos, you get 10.
yeah, so we just have to see how things go and how the body reacts to different things. And I mean, I have a whole year. I don't want to like put it on certain meets. Um, and this could be, I kind of left it open as well. Like if I was to do this in training, I'm okay with that as well. If it's not in a meet, typically my total PRs are from competition
Mhm.
anyway. But if that comes in training, I'm okay with that as well. But yeah, I think if I'm able to dial in my sleep, dial in my nutrition while still like running and swimming and biking potentially. I think one thing that'll be easier is my weight. I won't have to think about my weight really because I'll probably be more comfortable in whatever weight class I'm in. Um, I'll
I
be
wonder if
needing
you'll
to
naturally
fuel.
float down to 60.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd get all the way down to 60. I was thinking about that too. I don't know if I'll go that far just because I don't think
Mhm.
my body likes that anyway. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think I'll have to be fueling a lot more as well just to maintain a lot of that cardio that I'll be doing. So, and I think, yeah, the body will feel better overall just as a more fit person. Um, so I think that I'm gonna have to figure out a system. We'll see what that turns into within the next couple of months to really be able to train all these things without them just taking away from each other.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Well, no, I think it's I mean, if because let's say if you were just doing weightlifting, well, then it is kind of easier to like, all right, eat whatever.
yeah,
To all right, I'm gonna stay up late, and then I know I'll just slog through barbell club and stuff like that. And but now that you have to like, all right, I got to get up to hit my 5:30 a.m. swim, to make sure that I can, get to work on time. That's the only time the pool slot was available. And I have to fuel myself because I'm doing all this extra hours and stuff. Like, I can see how adding in this second activity is it will have a compounding effect of improving weightlifting because now you have to be dialed in on all those other things. You have to go to
yeah,
bed at a decent hour, and waking up at 5 a.m. Isn't necessarily a bad thing if you went to bed at a reasonable time,
right.
you know, and you'll be forced to, because if you try to do all those things and not have your nutrition and sleep up to par, all right, that's gonna be rough, and then you'll just leave the door open to some kind of an injury.
Yeah,
And I think too, you'll also have to start thinking about all right, what's my flexibility and mobility type of thing looking on? Maybe that adds in some kind of a sequence where, all right, as part of your wind down routine to go to bed at X time, you're going to do a little bit of round wad or something, just like
Yeah.
do that and then read and then go to bed or whatever it is that you do. And then now it's like, that's like time you wouldn't have spent stretching out your hamstrings. But then months later, look how good they are because you've put in
Yeah.
all that work and it's all added up. Yeah. So I think it's a good thing. And then that endurance training, swimming is so good. It's so good on the joints.
Yeah.
It really is. And your things will get stronger in little tiny ways that I think will definitely help weightlifting. And the biking, great for the quads, all that stuff. So that just might, beef those up. We got to make sure you don't get too quad heavy. The only like one that's like be careful is just the running.
Yeah.
And all the miles there. Yeah, I think it's I think this will be a good thing.
Yeah,
for sure. And I think they're all definitely doable. I see, like I like having open-ended goals, or like goals that, like the core 365 is like, just do it. Let's do it. Because also you don't know what's coming up with it, which I am going to change that. I still want to continue to do that every day. But I think instead of I'll use the workout that they program on the day as like maybe inspiration or like, I do want to do that. But I think I'll just kind of like I want to, now that I've like learned a lot of extra, I want to start programming it myself a little bit and experimenting with different things. And really the main reason for that is that at some point throughout the year, we went like large stretches where I'm like, where are the hollow holds at and stuff?
Yeah.
Because like I got like so good at it, and then they like went away, and we did like side plank stuff or crab stuff for like 2 months, and that's stuff that I have to heavily modify anyways because I can't balance on my feet or my hand like that. So I'm kind of like, well, that's kind of like, so I want to like make sure that definitely this time, at least once a week, I'm doing serious hollow work. At least once a week, I'm doing lateral hip work. So I want to kind of like just do it myself a little bit, but still keep doing it. But my main one is right now, January. I want to do walk 10K every day in January. And then after that, settle back down to something because I don't know if I see 10K being sustainable year round. It might just be like a way to jumpstart a quarter. Like, okay, April 10K, like the start of every quarter. Stranger theology is one of my big goals, and with that is kind of like I think kind of like how you were saying is like having more dedicated times on like when do these things happen. Like I want to have like a time in the morning where it's like, no, that's when this happens. Most of the time I'm doing like my Bible reading at night before bed, but I would like to add in something there with like more of like fiction-y type of reading, to go to bed. So, and also this Stranger Theology is going to take a little more time. So have it be like, okay, from this time in the morning, this is when I'm doing my worship studies. And then it's done for the day. This also means now too, like if something's going on, all right, I have to travel with this other book, and whatnot, but that's fine.
Okay.
And then my third goal is, I guess, I just wrote down explore. And what I mean by that is, kind of like how you we were talking about earlier, like I want to go to more concerts. Like I want to go out into the world and do things. This whole year, I've had a couple museums that like I wanted to go to, but then it's like a Sunday morning and I'm like, I don't want to leave the house. It's cold. But I know, but then like recently, like as soon as I like got my shoes on and left the house, all of that was gone. Like this is the prison. And it's way too enticing to stay here and watch another episode of whatever, which I'm gonna do later on anyways. So it's like, does it need to be a whole day, or can you go and do this other thing and then come back to it,
Yeah.
I just have too many instances of where like I convince myself that like, it's cold or you're too tired or something, and then I just veg out. Mainly this last couple weeks. This last couple weeks has been like that. But like in October, I went to the X-Files Museum. Like that's an example of what I want to do more. I'm like, get your butt out of the house. Especially now that it has been becoming a lot easier for me to stand putting on my shoes and walk around and doing things. Like there was a stretch of time where I'm like, I can't imagine, I don't want to do extra time on my feet, So, but now that that's opened up, now I'm more open to being like, all right, let's go to a concert. Let's do this. Let's do that. And that app, did I tell about that app, Bands in Town?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I love this app. Like that's how I found out about these concerts. I just get a text message and it's like, hey, just so you know, this band you like is releasing dates and you can buy tickets on Friday. And I'm like, oh, it's never been this easy to do that. So I'm definitely doing that. So yeah, 10K in January, and then that goal's done. It's like boom, it's done. That's all it was meant to be. It's just kind of a jump start for the year, and it just. I like that. I just want to know I can do it. It will be a challenge, I'm sure, on some days. And then keep up with the Stranger Theology. And then, of course, though, if there's only time for one, it's the main Bible study that has to be done. And then explore. Just do more stuff like that. Like I was talking to a friend of mine along the concert line discussion, and I was thinking to myself, there's only 2 bands that I would fly across this country to go see. If most of right now, I'm like, all right, can I drive to it? But like getting on a plane, that's a whole nother deal. And one of them, they were both defunct and retired. So only 2 bands that I would ever fly to go see aren't together anymore. Except one of them just came back in recent years. Mm-hmm. Like they had a huge fight, bad fight. But now they're friends again because all their side projects didn't work out. That's normally how it goes. So, but now they're back together, and I'm like, you know what? I would fly to Oregon or California to go see that. Like, so I'm open to that too. Kind of a deal.
Yeah.
Because college and high school James wouldn't have been able to do that, but this James can make it work. Make it work. And why not, right? So those are my goals for 2026. Really just be healthy, keep improving on that, maintain the base that I've built, this year, and not lose any of it, right?
Yeah.
Not stopping the things that make you successful is a really important thing. And you see that all the time in CrossFit. I have had some conversations with some athletes recently where they come in and I'm like, are you taking class? And they're going next door. And I'm like, wait a minute. This is what got you XYZ. Why? Mm-hmm. And now you're going over there because you don't think you need this anymore and whatnot. It's like, get your butt over here. Like that. It's a common phenomenon. Once people start to reach a certain point or a perceived certain point, they start to think like, well, I don't need that anymore, or I need this extra type of thing. Where do you think that comes from? Is that just like an example that's out there that others portray?
I think that's always the cycle with most things. I think it's just a life cycle thing of like what knowledge brings you, right? Like part of getting smarter is also getting dumber in a way. Like, yourself, things. So that's how you get into the specifics, right? Where you're like, okay, I've been doing this long enough. I see where my shortcomings are. And then your goal then becomes like to attack those. So you're like, all right, I want to work on my core more. Class workout today isn't necessarily on core. So I'm going to go to the double and just do core stuff. Like carries and whatever, because that's something I need to work on. But then you start to like miss the point of it all.
Mhm.
And like you start thinking very specific, and instead of like, how can I turn today's class workout into focusing on this, and how will that help me to reach this? I think it's very much in a CrossFitter's life cycle though. I think to like,
Yeah.
I mean, part of it is good where it's like you're inspired by this and you see things online and you're like, I want to try this workout. And I still have my notes app that like started in 2017 of like workout that I saw games athletes doing that I've like chipped away, like added my times to, and all of that. But yeah, I think it's just a part of the cycle. Eventually you always get back to, you know, what the whole point, because then you do a class workout and you get your ass kicked and you go, oh yeah.
Yeah. It is. It's. I mean, and it's always kind of been a thing. Like I remember pre CrossFit. So this is before it was like mainstream. There was always the shiny object syndrome of a new program, and people
Yeah.
would never finish programs. And these were like only like most programs were written to be 12 weeks in length, and it's like the attention span of people is like you get into it and you're like, yeah, I'm sick and tired of doing the same workout all the time. And that's, I mean, that definitely CrossFit helps with that part on like the workouts different every day, every week. But I do remember those times of people not making it past like that 5 to 6 week mark to finish out the program. And then of course they would type in the forums like it didn't work. It's like you didn't finish it.
Mm-hmm.
Of course it didn't work. And I think that kind of happens now in maybe different ways in CrossFit gyms, like with like, all right, like you start seeing workouts or like, especially when you can like follow in the life of all the games athletes or a lot of them now and kind of see what they're doing. And of course, everyone is under the sun is selling programming online. So you want to see what those are about. It goes through cycles for sure. The heartbreaking part of it is when it ends with someone stopping altogether,
Mm-hmm.
and that definitely happens too, where like they'll go through all these programs and then going through programs eventually for some people had turned into and probably has turned into, well, let me try different gyms. And
Mm-hmm.
then you go to this one, you have a bad experience. You go to this one, it's not the same as this one. You go to that one, it's not what I'm looking for. And then you kind of like go through the ringer. And then like we've had people come back to Albany CrossFit and it's like, it's almost like they're like a creature out of time now because we've also moved on and changed, and they're like, I don't know what happened. And then they're just
Yeah. Yeah.
burnt out and done, or they get injured when they go somewhere else, because maybe one gym that you went to really wanted to make sure that you did things the right way. And the next gym you go to is like, you have free reign now. You can do whatever you want, and then all of a sudden you're the kid that all of a sudden can buy all the candy and you go too far with it, kind of.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've seen it go through the cycles on both ways. But I think that's why like we have to just make sure in classes when we're coaching people that like you keep giving people new things, new cues, new insights into what they need to be doing. And hopefully we'll be able to do that with these goals. Like now that people are writing their goals on the board, what I would like to do is pick out the ones like, okay, you wrote down these nutrition goals. Well, now I can reach out to you and say,
Yeah.
how's that going? And do you need help with it? If I look on there and I see that a lot like, all right, everybody on this board wants pull-ups. How about we have like a pull-up workshop on a Saturday and whatnot, and like just set the date, and like we can do stuff like that. Because I've wanted to do things like that, but like you don't know what people want and what they'd be
Mm-hmm.
willing to do all the time, especially right now with the current culture of our gym. I mean, heck, you're yelling at people just to fill out the goal sheet. So I think now that it's written down, it'll be a little easier to kind of like, all right, this is what where people's brains are. Now we can do this type of a deal.
Yeah.
So I would like to do those things. I went to my brother's house out in Vestal yesterday, and I drove by a gymnastics gym, and they had the a very, very cool gym name.
Hmm.
And this is the second gym out in the Binghamton area. Third gym, because of course we love Sona. We love our friends at Sona. But obscure gyms that had really names I thought were really, really cool. The
Hmm.
one years ago was called Grace in Motion. And I thought that was cool. They were like a weightlifting gym, but of course it would have like CrossFit,
Yeah.
implications because of grace. But then like the lifts themselves are described as being graceful barbell exercises, and then also they were very they're big Christians too. So of course,
Hmm.
great. Yeah, I thought that was a very cool name. But this gymnastics gym was called Head Over Heels Gymnastics.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and it's cool because like, oh, you're head over heels for gymnastics, but also when you get in your handstand, or you do all these things, your heels are over your head.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
so as I was driving, I'm like, I like that. Like it's like
Hmm.
being creative with the gym name. So those are our goals. Those are our takeaways. Those are some recaps. I think the next thing is, I mean, this episode I'm gonna try to put up tomorrow, and but also it's not doable for everybody. But I am I can't start some things tomorrow, but I want to start getting into the rhythm and the motion of I'm not waiting till Thursday, January 1st
Yeah.
to get started. Some things I've already started, but it's we're in a weird funky time where if you take off Monday to Wednesday, it's 3 days of the week. We know we may not do anything on January 1st itself because you may be recovering from Christmas, from New Year's Eve, and then also it's just kind of like it's you're still in vacation mode. Then
Yeah.
there's Friday, which is like for some people a full work day, but it's not, or it's still that fuzzy period. Like no one's
Yeah.
taking Fridays seriously, and then you're back onto the weekend when you just had kind of the week. Like so, it kind of feels like you could waste this next week, um,
Yeah.
just because of the placement of the start of the new year. So I think is starting on Monday on some things, and that it might even just be not doing the things. But if you haven't started like planning yet, like maybe if your goal is to, all right, I'm going to start eating a certain way, but if you haven't sat down to write down your shopping list and how you're going to cook everything, do that on Monday. Like that's like you can start at least prepping for the new year this week, and that's a
Yep.
productive use of your time to take steps forward to the things that you want to do. But I think it'd be the worst thing just to take it off and just veg out for another week. I don't know. What do you think about this?
Yeah. I was explaining to a few people just things have been odd. I would even say like post states, just timing wise for me, um, with like getting back into training or wanting to start new things just because of all the interruptions that were incoming. Um, just because it was like I got back from India 2 weeks later, Thanksgiving. 2 weeks after Thanksgiving, you're like in that prep week for Christmas. Then you have the Christmas week, then New Year's is the week after. And um, even like meal prepping, everything these past few weeks has been odd because, with the holidays in the middle of the week, you're kind of cooking until then because you might be with family or you're going to be out in some way during the week. And same thing with the gym schedule, where even if I was free on Christmas, like the gym's not open.
Mhm.
On Thanksgiving, like we have the Thanksgiving workout, things like that. We have Fran on New Year's Day, but like gym will be closed Wednesday afternoon, or like you have plans Wednesday afternoon, and just trying to like find a rhythm and not allowing yourself to do the thing where it's like, I'm going to start on January 1st, or like once the week starts fresh in January, that first Monday, like then I'll start going. Um, but yeah, you kind of just have to work with what works for you, even if that means like not ignoring the holiday, but if it works better for you to like start now and then use New Year's Eve and New Year's Day just as if you were on your regular schedule, kind of planning things out similarly, then do that. But yeah, it definitely is tough to kind of deal with the holiday weeks and the
Yeah.
known kind of shuffling of timing.
Yeah. And with this holiday week coming up, yeah, if you do wait for that first full Monday of January, now it's the 5th already, 5 days
Right.
into the year, you know? And the way I look at it is like Monday through Wednesday, you could just be taking practice swings at your goals. For example, I did on Christmas Day do 10K steps just as like a tester. Plus, I'm like, it's Christmas. That I was like, let me give myself a couple extra K. I'll give myself a
Yeah.
little extra health and fitness for Christmas. It's for Jesus' birthday. Happy birthday. I'll do the 10K. And then, but now it's like, all right, let me take some practice swings Monday through Wednesday and like get those 10Ks, because then I might discover some hangups that
Yeah.
I don't want to have to discover on January 4th and then have to make this big adjustment and or think about, all right, how am I going to fix this? Oh, I don't have time to think about this right now. So on Monday, I could find out on Wednesday, like, oh, all right, this is more than I want to do. Maybe I need to adjust my goal ahead of time,
Yeah.
or something like that. Just anything, and I don't have a stepper treadmill yet, I'm just going to still try to tough it out and just do it around the parking lot and or in my apartment and elsewhere. But maybe I get to Wednesday and I'm like, you need to place that order now because it's not gonna work out. And then like, all right, that's what finally gets me to pull the trigger on that. So it's just little things like that, like practice it. You could even practice your meal prep, like you were talking about. Hey, let me meal prep on Sunday or meal prep on Monday, and then you get a bad batch and like, all right, I need to make an adjustment. Like that would stink. Your first batch of meal prep or something is like a bad batch. You mess it up, and now it just completely deflates you for the new year. And you're like, well, we'll get back on it in a couple weeks. So it's just all kinds of things that you can do. Start gathering supplies. Buy the Tupperware now if you haven't already. Just make things easier, because if your goals, you have multiple goals that require prep too, when are you going to do that? Yeah, and if you try to do it all at once, that might be overwhelming and you might lose some stuff,
Yeah.
Or you're like, I have this book I want to start reading, but it's still in the mail on January 2nd. Like, so just, I guess, just try not to lose this time, and you can start on Monday. Just and then you do that prep time, and then you start for real if you need to on January 1st, whatever it is that you're trying to do. And I think that's just you feel like you get a head start almost. Cool. Are you doing any of that, or are you taking the rest of the year off?
I went to the grocery store after coaching this morning, and yeah, I got a good amount of stuff that like almost like habit forming, like that I've kind of gotten away from. So yeah, we'll see. I have an idea for like how I want to cook, like right after we get off this, like I'm going to start cooking and getting things kind of ready, and yeah, seeing time wise how long things take and my like staples that I like to have, and things like that. But yeah, I think this is also like my week of calls. Also, a lot of times when I start like a new quote unquote sport or something, I always take so long to make the call to like the place and ask them like, oh, what are intro things? What's the price for this? Whatever. And then it takes 5 minutes. So I think this is also my week of like, I need a swim coach now.
Yeah.
So yeah, let me figure it out. Because if they're like, oh, you can come in on Wednesday and do your like intro thing, we won't get in the pool yet or whatever, like that's perfect. So if I can get those things out of the way this week, then I will definitely do that, because I really want to get started on a lot of these.
Perfect example. You do that intro where you're not getting in the pool on Wednesday, but then they're like, hey, Miguel, we can get in the pool now on Friday. But if you wait till next week to make the call, And then now it's Monday, and then they can't meet you because now they're extra busy till Friday. You can get into the pool the next Monday.
Yeah.
That's just a lot of time going by, and the whole time you're like, I really want to get started, you know. So yeah, that's a perfect example. Like start on Monday, make those calls, do all that stuff. Start your prep today. I do need to go to Hannaford today, and like my thing is like, all right, I have like perishables that I want to buy, but I also need to do an audit of my kitchen. Like, what are like the big ticket items that like I need to replace? Like a jar of honey lasts forever, you know. So it's like, all right, do I have enough, and do I need to like restock on that? It's always those things that like they balloon up your grocery bill because like, but you're not going to buy it for a while. So I'm kind of like doing an audit of that, you know, and seeing what I need to replenish to help me next week. So cool. Well, Miguel, I think we've done it. It's been a great year. You've done a great job on all your coaching and your lifting and everything. So excited to see where the new year takes you, and to keep working with you and the whole rest of the team. We had a really good year.
Yeah, likewise. Yeah, a lot. We did a lot this. You did a lot this year also. So, yeah. Hopefully, maybe a more chill year. Maybe a more.
Ooh, don't say that.
Well, like let's say more. We are more in control of how much we're doing this year.
Yeah, I like that, because I mean, remember those are my famous last words.
Yeah,
a year ago in December when I was like, you know what, I'm really looking forward to like a laid back year. We'll do a couple meets and stuff like that, and then the CrossFit Games coming to Albany.
Right.
That was insane. That was one and done. They, you know what? Because of the way the CrossFit community treated Albany, you're not allowed to come back. You know what?
Right.
Don't come back. No, if you're gonna crap on us like you did, it really wasn't that bad. Come on now. Like, but I heard so many negative things about Albany. It's like, you know, all right, we live here. we like it. It's our place.
Yeah.
So yeah, I am hoping for that. That is true. So cool. Awesome. Well, Miguel, have a great rest of your day, and we will talk again next Sunday. I was going to see, now's the time where people are going to do that joke. I'll see you next year. Like, I won't do it formally. All right. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Thank you for following us throughout the year. We'll be back with more awesome stuff. Have a happy new year.